There are moments in a celebrity's life when fiction and reality collide so delicately that even the most perceptive audience cannot tell them apart. For Elçin Sangu, one of Turkey's most luminous and enigmatic actresses, that collision came not through scandal or controversy, but through a single, breathtaking illusion that spread like wildfire across social media. It began innocently, as so many modern stories do, with a photograph. In it, Elçin stood bathed in golden light, the gentle afternoon sun tracing her features in a way that seemed almost divine. Her hand rested softly on her belly, and her expression, calm, fragile, profoundly human, told 1,000 stories without uttering a single word. Beneath the image, the caption read, "Sometimes life gives you miracles when you least expect them." The internet erupted. Within minutes, comment sections overflowed with heart emojis and messages of pure elation. "Congratulations, Elçin," fans wrote. "You deserve every happiness in the world." Gossip pages turned the spark into an inferno. Headlines spread from Istanbul to Madrid to Dubai. Elçin Sangu is pregnant. The beloved actress shares her greatest joy. Even international entertainment sites, long fascinated by the magnetic power of Turkish drama stars, picked up the story. For nearly a week, the entertainment world seemed to revolve around one idea, that Elçin Sangu, adored for her beauty and talent, was about to enter a new, deeply personal chapter of her life, motherhood. But then came the twist. During a live interview to promote her latest series, The Stickman, Elçin smiled, adjusted her microphone, and with a glimmer of humor in her eyes, said softly, "I'm not pregnant. My character is." And just like that, silence fell over the media landscape. The truth landed like a gentle but shocking breeze, not a scandal, but a revelation that made everyone pause. What the world had interpreted as a personal confession was, in fact, an act of artistic expression, a calculated, yet profoundly emotional, piece of performance art tied to her new role. In The Stickman, Elçin Sangu portrays Layla, a woman who discovers she is pregnant while confronting the ghosts of her past. The show is an emotional labyrinth, exploring love, fear, transformation, and the way motherhood reshapes one's identity. For Elçin, it was one of the most demanding roles she had ever accepted. She had spent weeks preparing, not just memorizing lines, but studying the quiet details of the experience, how a pregnant woman moves, how her breathing changes, how joy and anxiety coexist within the same heart. In a behind-the-scenes featurette, Elçin said, almost in a whisper, "I wanted to make it feel real, not cinematic, not decorative. Real. Because every woman who carries life also carries a universe of emotions." And that was precisely what made her performance so convincing. The lines between Elçin and Layla blurred, her portrayal so delicate, so raw, that even the public forgot where fiction ended and truth began. Critics called her work mesmerizing, a portrait of emotional precision, and one of the most authentic depictions of womanhood Turkish television has ever seen. But while art triumphed, social media didn't take the revelation lightly. Some fans felt deceived, claiming that the post had toyed with their emotions. Others passionately defended her, insisting that no lie had been told, only art expressed. One viral tweet read, "Elçin Sangu didn't trick anyone. She reminded us how powerful storytelling can be." The actress herself soon addressed the situation with characteristic grace. In a follow-up post, she wrote, "I never meant to mislead anyone. My intention was to share the emotional world of my character. If people felt something true, even for a moment, then perhaps we succeeded in doing what art is meant to do." That statement silenced most of the criticism. In an era when celebrities often scramble to explain or apologize, Elçin's calm, grounded words only amplified her aura. She wasn't defensive. She was reflective, and that, perhaps, was what her audience loved most. Ironically, this misunderstanding gave the stickman an unexpected boost. Ratings surged. New viewers tuned in out of curiosity, eager to witness the performance that had blurred the borders between imagination and reality. The producers, though cautious not to exploit the viral frenzy, acknowledged privately that it had brought the series unprecedented attention. Sometimes, one insider joked, "A misunderstanding can be the best marketing campaign in the world." But those who know Elçin personally say there was no calculation in her gesture, only sincerity. A close friend revealed, Elçin never does anything halfway. She throws her heart into every role, and sometimes that heart beats a little too loudly. Indeed, this event seemed to mark a turning point in her public image. For years, she had been admired as a symbol of elegance and control, the actress who never lost composure, who balanced beauty with intellect. But this time, the world saw her differently. Behind the red hair and composed smile was a woman deeply connected to her craft, willing to expose vulnerability for the sake of emotional truth. Fashion magazines soon began calling her the artist who turned rumor into art. Others referred to her as Turkey's master of emotional illusion. Yet, perhaps the most meaningful praise came from her fans, who flooded her comments with messages of renewed admiration. "You made us feel something real, and that's why we'll always believe in you." Meanwhile, the actress herself moved on quietly. Away from the noise, she continued filming, rehearsing, and preparing for upcoming scenes. Those on set describe her as a perfectionist, gentle in demeanor but unrelenting in pursuit of authenticity. Director Onu Govan, speaking in a rare interview, said, "Elçin doesn't perform emotions, she dissects them. She understands what it means to pause before a tear falls. She studies silence as much as speech. That's why audiences can't look away." In the weeks that followed, the frenzy began to fade. The false pregnancy rumor, once a wildfire of speculation, transformed into something softer, a parable about the power of art to blur reality. Elçin's reputation, far from being damaged, only grew stronger. She became the embodiment of authenticity in a world addicted to superficial impressions. Her social media presence remained serene. She posted candid moments from the set, bursts of laughter with co-stars, quiet reflections at sunrise. There was no need for statements or explanations anymore, only the silent language of someone at peace with her choices. As the entertainment world speculates about her next move, insiders whisper that Elçin has begun reading scripts for international co-productions. Several European streaming platforms have expressed interest in collaborating with her, a sign that her influence is crossing borders once again. Whether she steps into another complex drama or something entirely new, one thing is certain: whatever story she chooses next will carry that same emotional truth that made her the star she is today. Because, in the end, this story was never really about a rumor. It was about the fragile boundary between fiction and feeling, and the rare artist who can make both indistinguishable. As the dust settled, one comment beneath her post stood out among thousands. "Maybe the miracle wasn't a baby. Maybe it was the way you made us believe." And perhaps that's the greatest gift of all, the ability to remind millions that art, when done with honesty, can feel more real than reality itself. And so, dear viewers, what do you think of Elçin Sangu's story? Was this a clever artistic move or an emotional misunderstanding? Have you ever believed something online that later turned out to be different, and yet still felt moved by it? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the join button to support Mr. Magazine, where every emotion, every whisper, and every rumor becomes a story worth telling.